Welcome to Freed on Business. He grew up in South Florida, has been in business here since the early 90s, and has closed over $3 billion in deals. He's seen it all. He always has an opinion, and he's always ready to share it. Informed, entertaining, and connected, he has his finger on the pulse of South Florida's business community. He's Jim Freed, and this is Freed on Business.
Hey everybody, welcome to Freed on Business. We've got a tremendous show for you today. We're going to start off with my good friend Matt Gold, who likes to call himself Medicare Matt. I know that I'm over 60 and I need to talk to Matt sooner rather than later, but I don't know what to talk to him about. So we're going to hear it all today. If you're trying to figure out what to do, Matt's going to tell you. Then we're going to have Anthony Burns. Anthony's a real good friend of mine. Anthony and I do urban real estate deals together. Anthony is the driving force behind Magic City's Innovation District here in Miami. We'll talk about urban redevelopment in general, Magic City Innovation District in particular. It's going to be a rockin' hot show. And yeah, that's right, broadcasting live from Coconut Grove today. So, Regan Mendoza, take it away and bring it right back right after this with Matt Gold. All right, everybody, this is where I say Freed on Business has been around since 2008. Warren Henry's been our sponsor. Warren Henry's been our sponsor since like 2013. We obviously sell a lot of cars. You saw me donating a bunch of suits and formal wear over there. Good work clothes, interview clothes. So if you have something that you want to donate, call me, contact me, or just bring it over to their store at 151st and Biscayne. Because remember, when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why I have to check out Warren Henry. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar up at 151st and Biscayne. Up in Gainesville, they still out. He's down in the Keys. Well, they got all their brands down there. What do they all have in common? Well, they're all great cars, and they all come with Warren Henry Advantage. It's a whole bunch of great things you get, including the fact that they'll replace your keys if you lose them. They'll polish up your wheels if you get them all messed up. But the most important things are that they'll make sure that you got 3 days to love your car. If you don't love it, you can return it. And guess what? Everybody loves their car. It's awesome. So join me, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian, lots of our friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be, too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry. That's right. Always be kind and always give me a call. Why call me? Because when you call me, it's always all about you. Who calls me? Lots of families call me. Lots of real estate investors call me. Lots of institutions call me. Why? Because when you call me, like I said, it's always all about you. We're doing all kinds of great loans. We just closed a loan collateralized by raw land that's under contract with one of the national home builders. That's right. Raw land. So call me. Why? Because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we're on with my good friend Matt Gold. Matt, welcome back to the show.
Love to be here, Jim. Very happy. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
It's my absolute pleasure. You've got things that people need to know about. You know, Matt, I turned 60. I'm looking now at the Medicare, Medicaid, all that other stuff. I have no idea. I read a couple of articles every year or so just to see that, hey, it still doesn't apply to me. But when do I start having to focus on it? And what should I be looking at, Matt?
I always recommend that my clients start reaching out to me when they turn 64, 64 and a half, because right now the program starts at 65 for most people. And that gives them plenty of time to get familiar with what's available and then to select the right product for them. So 64 and a half is really the spot on age in which you should, reach out to me.
So, Matt, I see all these, I watch sports. I see all these TV shows, all these ads that say, come call us. We can help you get this, that, and the other. How does somebody know what's right for them?
Oh, without talking to me, I'm not really sure, because a lot of them just try and sell a product. What I do is I really try and get very much involved with my client to understand what their real needs are. And then once we focus on what their needs are, then I help them understand what product makes sense to match it up with them. So that's what I do. I take a very homogeneous approach.
What kind of needs do people have? I mean, what does this stuff do? I mean, I have a platinum healthcare policy from one of the national providers. What happens when I turn 65?
Yeah. So what happens is, first of all, Medicare is a few-part process, right? So the first thing is it's a government-run program. And so you first have to enroll into Medicare Part B. So I want you to focus in on and looking at this whole process as like a triangle, and understand that original Medicare, which is what it's called, which is issued by the government, is at the top of our triangle. And once you have Medicare A and B, then you get to choose one of the two bottom points of the triangle, one or the other. So in the very big picture, you have to choose one of those 2 points. And what I do is I help figure out which point makes the most sense for you. The 2 points, just so you know, are called, I call the bottom, from you looking at me, the bottom right is Medicare Supplement. And the bottom left would be called Medicare Advantage. The simple differences between the two, one is more of a network contracted plan. It's called Medicare Advantage, where you have like HMO plans, or you do have some PPO plans, but everyone that's involved in that product has to be contracted. Whereas the supplement product is more of an open access plan, as you can almost go anywhere you'd like. The major differences between the two outside of that is premium. Whereas these open access plans are very expensive. Well, I shouldn't say very expensive. Compared to your platinum plan, they're probably very inexpensive, but they could run anywhere from in the mid 60s as far as a monthly premium to a high of, call it $250 to $300 a month. And on the Advantage plans, they're typically zero monthly premium. So, the big difference between the two is called limitation. So whereas the Advantage plans, you have a limited network and you have to work within that network, whereas the supplemental plans have an open access. You can go almost anywhere you want.
So then, Matt, how do people decide that they want to work with you, and how do they find you?
Well, the best way is to, like you said at the top of the show, you have your guest on Medicare Matt. That's what everyone calls me. I actually own the domain. It's just MedicareMatt with 2Ts.com. And that's the easiest way to find me. You can also Google me. I usually come up in the top part of the searches on the first page. But that's the best way. My website is very informative. I have videos on there. I took my lessons from you and I got involved out there and made sure that I did it all the right way.
So, Matt, on your website, do you offer people some information that help them understand what's going on?
Absolutely. I have, many videos on there. They're very easy to digest. They're 3 minutes or less in length on various little segmented subject matters within the Medicare world. And then you also have content written out on the website. I have various different ways to look at things on the website. And then, of course, you have my phone number, which will be a direct dial to me. So I'm always available to my clients.
What's the number one question people ask you, Matt?
Which one should I pick, supplement or Advantage, right? So, and it's like, they'll also say to me, they'll look at me like with a funny eye, and they'll say, what did you put your mom into? To try and get me to say, hey, this is the right plan. The other one's no good. Well, the truth is, I can't tell my mom anything. You know what I mean? Your mom is going to decide for herself, and she's not going to.
Your mom knows my mom, Matt.
Exactly. She knows what's right. So who am I to judge? But really, the bottom line is every single plan has, a different, the two sides have different ways of covering you. And there's no right or wrong answer. It's what you feel comfortable about. Some of my clients say to me, I don't have any doctors. I don't care my network of doctors. I just want to make sure this hospital is in the system. And I'll say, okay, this is a good plan to choose because of that. So if these are, that's your requirement, I'll point you in that direction. And you'll say to me, no, I want no referrals to get to my to my specialist. And I want to be able to go to the special hospital in New York or Texas or wherever it might be. And I don't want anyone telling me that I can't go there. Then I'll recommend a different product to them. You know what I'm saying? So it's different for everybody. And I help people understand the differences, the good, the bad, the different, the ugly, if you will.
Sorry, Matt. It's the guy with the leaf blower out in the back, and I just can't do anything about him. Well, look, Matt, I really appreciate you coming on because you know that this has been something that's been on my mind for a number of years. Is I like to try to be fully prepared, so I've been after you for a couple of years already. So I really do appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you being there for my healthcare questions. And again, if people want to reach you, it's MedicareMatt.com.
It's just
that's
simple.
Awesome. I want to thank you so much for coming on, Matt, and I look forward to having you on again in the near future. When does open enrollment start for all this?
Yeah, so that's a good point to bring up. Open enrollment starts for Medicare October 15 and goes through December 7. And that's typically for those who are looking to make a change. When people are aging in, as we call it, turning 65, obviously that doesn't happen for everyone between October 15 and December 7. It happens all year round. And that gives everybody a special election, they call it, to enroll into the Medicare program during their birthday month or the months before, months after. It's actually called their open enrollment window, which is a 7-month window, 3 months prior to their birthday month, and the 3 months after their birthday month.
December. So for me, it don't matter.
Well, you also have a few years to wait because you're too young.
That's okay. Thank God, right?
Exactly.
Matt, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'll look forward to having you on kind of on a regular basis to help with this stuff and keep people informed. I really appreciate having you on as a resource, Matt.
My pleasure, and thank you for having me. I love being here.
You're the best, Matt. Thank you so much for coming back on the show. We're going to go to break now. When we come back, we're going to have Anthony Burns. Anthony is one of the preeminent placemakers here in South Florida. We're going to talk about his plan for the Magic City Innovation District in particular, and in general, what he sees on the redevelopment of the different urban neighborhoods here in South Florida. Thank you again to Matt Gold for joining us, Medicare Matt. Anthony Burns up next. Regan Mendoza right now. I'm going to try it while the guy's in between his little spurts of cleaning the parking lot back there. Hi, this is Jim Freed, and our sponsor is Warren Henry. And when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry, Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar at their store on 151st and Biscayne. Up in Gainesville, they sell Audis. Down in the Keys, they sell them all. What do they have in common? They're all great cars. They come with the Warren Henry advantage. That's a whole group of services, and it includes the 72-hour exchange. You take 3 full days to make sure you like your car. Guess what? You will. I was up there this week donating a bunch of old suits and clothes. Hey, Anthony, you guys got some old suits you don't wear anymore for your big investment banking days. I'm going to be coming by and seeing you and George and the rest of the team to get some good stuff to donate to Alonzo Mourning and the kids. That's right. We're all about doing good deeds. So join me, my mom, and my beautiful wife, Vivian. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry.
Becca Carlson from Carlson Integrated. You know, a lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
Hey, everybody, thanks for putting up as I moved away from the guy that was leaf blowing and into the other half of my office and everything here. Let's see, where am I? Oh, this is the part where I talk about, give me a call. I'm Jim Freed, and I can get you capital. I've got my friends in New York. We're doing all kinds of great things. We've got construction loan programs for apartments, resorts, hotels. I'm doing equity for condo conversion. I've got capital if you've got the deal. So give me a call or reach out to me through direct message. Why? Because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
Hey, everybody. I really appreciate you allowing me to move around today until I could get the video right. I think we finally got it right. I want to thank my good friend Anthony Burns with his Perrier Blues over there for joining us today. Anthony is one of the placemakers in town. He's created the Magic City Innovation District just north of downtown. We'll talk about that and other neighborhoods that he finds interesting. Welcome to the show, Anthony Burns.
Thank you, Jim. It is always my pleasure to spend a few minutes with you.
Oh, you're the best. Hey, hi.
I'm stuck here in the office, and you're out living the life on the pool deck, it looks like.
Well, that's what I do, man. That's what I do. Coconut Grove, 2675 Bayshore Drive across from Monty's. That's right. We got a security guard, so don't come looking for me. But we're getting into the new place. The folks I'm actually going to put the people on that are fitting out my apartment. They're tremendous. They do it for all the people on Miami Beach. We got referred to them by some of the top realtors in town. They've been here for 2 days. We're buying all kinds of new appliances. Vivian Freed is getting what she wants, as she should.
Yes, that's right.
As she should. But how are you? How was your vacation? You're back. Tell me what's going on. What's new at Magic City?
Well, yeah, we're back. We're back in the saddle. We have a lot of exciting developments here at Magic City. We're an 18-acre innovation district development just north of the design district. We're entitled for 8 million square feet, which includes a whole bunch of apartment units, about 2,600 apartment units, 2 million square feet of office with hotel, retail, et cetera. So we're really excited to be creating the newest neighborhood in Miami. Our goals over the next couple of years is to really start some of that vertical construction. We've spent a lot of our time and energy really placemaking, activating a lot of the old warehouses that were here. If your listeners have not been to Little Haiti in the last couple of years, I think they would be amazed at the transformation that is occurring in this neighborhood. It's a great place to be in Miami.
What are the drivers for growth up there in the Miami Innovation District? And that's a loaded question because I go from Biscayne past Adiamo and in the back door. I know exactly how you guys tie in with everything. But for people that aren't familiar with the neighborhood, let's talk a little bit about how it does tie in. And by the way, congratulations on working out a positive relationship with your neighbors as well.
Yeah, they're like any large scale project in Miami, there is a process that needs to go through. We spent the better part of 3 years going through that process with the commission and the various stakeholders in the community. And we've come up with what we believe is one of the most transformational development and community give back programs the city has ever seen. As part of our development, we're going to be donating and contributing over $35 million into what's called the Little Haiti Revitalization Trust. This is a board run by the city, but endowed by us, that will allow those development dollars to have a direct impact on the community of Little Haiti, whether that is in the form of education for its residents, or low-income housing, workforce housing, job training, et cetera. So we're really trying to create a development here that rises the tide and therefore rises all the boats.
Well, high five to you, Neil and George, and the rest of your team for really working with the city to get something good for the neighborhood done. I know that you've gotten some great acceptance while other people have met resistance because of your desire to work with the neighborhood. Now, tell me about the first things that you've done at the Innovation District. You started out by activating the site. What's your first next new development going to be over there?
Right. Well, we have two developments that are currently in the planning stages that we anticipate both breaking ground in early to mid 2022. The first is a 350 unit, 25-story high-rise apartment building that'll be located right in the core of the Innovation District. And across the street, a partner of ours will be starting the construction of approximately a 300,000 square foot office tower. And so we believe that with the commencement of those two projects, those will really be the anchors for the next phase of the development. And that is bringing world-class innovation and technological talent to this part of Miami.
Now, you have a technology partner on this transaction. Tell us a little bit about who that is.
Well, we have a couple different partners. They have backgrounds in Silicon Valley and technology and innovation space. They're going to be bringing a lot of those relationships and the call it the wherewithal that will continue, I think, to allow Miami and in particular Magic City to garner more of the innovation dollars and energy in the country.
Now, what attracted you to this specific location within the city of Miami? Because I know you guys could take time, you took time, you evaluated a bunch of different places, and you put your chips down here. Why?
Well, at the end of the day, we're real estate folks. Our partners, span a wide gambit of experience, but we're the operational real estate folks that have a long track record here in Miami of development. And this area it's traditionally been an underutilized and really skipped over neighborhood for a long period of time, but it has great infrastructure. We're located just off of the 62nd Street Expressway exit, close to Biscayne, and we're 17 feet above sea level. We're on one of the highest points in Miami, and so our belief is that as we face challenges, whether it's sea level rise or storm surge or what have you, the density in this city needs to go where there is the most resilient. And so as part of that forward-looking strategy, this seemed like a no-brainer for us that, the future-proofing this development by its mere location.
Now, are you making any design modifications so that you'll be prepared for the evolution of climate down here in South Florida?
Well, of course, that will be an integral part of the eventual design of our large promenade, which will be one of the backbone and really one of the defining features of our development, along with all of the vertical buildings that are eventually developed. But as I said, smart development starts with location, right? There's nothing you can do when you start at an elevation of 6 inches versus when we start at an elevation of 17 feet. My favorite is the guy who's building on the water. And when I ask him what his strategy is, he says he's adding an extra floor of parking. Exactly. Right. Too bad for those cars. Well, what can you do? They got to go find a place to park, get some, well, I don't want to tell people where I park during the hurricane. Anyway, thank you so much, Anthony, for going through that. I do want to talk about what you see in other markets and what advice you could give to people that are looking to do urban redevelopment. I hope you'll be able to stay with us and do at least one or two more segments. Sure.
Okay, great. This is where we go. Mr. Mendoza, Regan. I do that because I always pronounce his name wrong. It's Regan. I always say Regan. Reagan, why don't you take us out real early? Then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about other submarkets that Anthony may have his eye on and lessons he learned doing urban development that he could share with other people. Back after this. All right, everybody, this is South Florida's longest running business talk show. We've been on since 2008. Our sponsor since 2013 has been Warren Henry. I want to thank Larry's in, Warren's in, Eric Day, and Samantha Wolf for all of their support. We really enjoyed our time out there yesterday. I want to remind everybody that they collect clothes out there for Alonzo Mourning to give to the kids and people here that are doing interviews. I'm going to keep mentioning that, and I'm going to have another meet up there. People hopefully bring me their suits and other stuff that people can use to help make their lives better as well. And remember, when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry, Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar up at their new store at 151st and Biscayne. Place is gorgeous. Oh, yeah. Up in Gainesville, they sell Audis. Down in the Keys, they've got all the great nameplates. What do they have in common? Well, they're all great cars, and they all come with the Warren Henry Advantage. That means you get complimentary dent repair. Oh, my God, I'm reading the wrong thing. Look, you get all kinds of great advantages when you buy with them. Yeah, I love my stuff at home, Anthony. You can laugh at me. It's okay. I forgot all the great stuff, but the main thing is that they treat you like family. My wife and I have been customers there for like 30 years. They're amazing people. Me, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian, lots of my friends, Burns eventually. I'm going to get you too, Anthony. And what do you get? Well, you get the best price, always the best price, always the best service, always the best cars, always Warren Henry. All right, I always choose kindness. I choose kindness all the time. Why? Because that's who people want to do business with in today's world. What do I do all day long? I put my friends together. Sometimes they know each other already. Sometimes they don't. What do? I bring them interesting new ideas, and I ask them to look at things just a little bit differently. Sometimes they do. We make deals. It's tremendous. I just did a deal up in North Carolina with a guy that found me on the internet. He lives in New Zealand. He can't even sign. It was amazing. Right when they wanted to close, they did the lockdown in New Zealand. What do we do for him? We did the front of some guy's farm that one of the big national home builders wants to build. So I just did a raw land loan at 80%. Yamame, if you need some cash. That's right. Call me. Why? Because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we're here with Anthony Burns. Anthony has helped make many different neighborhoods in South Florida. He was one of the original movers in Edgewater. Did deals on Miami Beach too, didn't you? Okay, and now he's planted the flag at Magic City. Didn't think I realized and remembered all that. How you've already made two different neighborhoods. So now we're on the third. We're on Magic City. That's the Little Haiti neighborhood, and we talked about why they selected it. And now what I want to do is I want to talk in general about placemaking and neighborhoods. Anthony, what's the most important thing to do when you're trying to make a place in town?
Well, I think the most important thing is to make sure that you're able to get the decision makers and the important folks in the community on your side to buy into your belief. One neighborhood you actually left out was North Miami Beach. We developed the first new development high-rise in North Miami Beach in 40 years called Marina Palms Residences and Yacht Club. And that was also a neighborhood, really a community that was trying to find what its future path was forward. There was a substantial constituency of folks that they believed if they stuck their head in the ground and they did not allow development, that they could keep development out. And what they found is they had all the downsides of development, being a crossroads between Aventura and North Miami. They had all the downside of traffic, and they had no tax base. And so when we approached the city about reinvigorating and doing the Marina Palms development, it was really a collaboration with the city leadership for approximately a year and a half to address those major political issues within the city. And once we were able to get that vision sold to the community, we ended up delivering a world-class building. And now you can see that North Miami Beach is really at one of the epicenters in where you're seeing great development occur along that Biscayne 163rd type corridor. So when we approached Magic City, it's the same way. We're coming into a neighborhood that has not seen a lot of development, that needs a lot of hand-holding in terms of coming to a consensus on a deal that is actually viable from a developer standpoint, but is also viable and works within the context of the overall community and the development. And we believe we've done that. And we have a lot of development ahead of us here in this community, and we're doing what we say we do every day, and it creates this self-reinforcing cycle within the community.
Now, Anthony, one of the things that happens when a neighborhood evolves is that the land prices go up and the density goes up. How do you help both the capital markets and, I guess it's really get the capital markets to understand that you're in front and things are going to change to go into that first deal? And I guess having a partner like Neil doesn't exactly hurt.
No, I mean, listen, to do high-rise development in a new neighborhood that has no comparables, is in the process of transforming is not an easy task. We bring 25 plus years of development experience, balance sheet, and relationships to that, and because of that, we're going to be able to move this thing forward. But it can be a heavy lift. But you have to have the right team and the right partners to get that stuff done. Now,
you mentioned Neil. Let's talk about in general. You have Neil as part of your team, Neil Fairman. You also have George. Each plays a different role, and I think that that's really important to talk about when you're talking about how to approach a new transaction in a new neighborhood, because I think that the collaborative approach that you guys use is very, very helpful.
Listen, I am immensely blessed to have two wonderful partners, Neil Fairman and George Helmstetter. We've been working together and as partners for almost a decade now. They're close friends, they're partners, they're 100% trustworthy. All the attributes that somebody could ask for in a partner, I'm lucky enough to have. And so you're right, we do have our different strengths, our different skills that we bring to the table. And I think we also have a good appreciation of allowing those skills to really prosper in the partnership. And, we haven't that worked out well.
Yeah, it is. Each one of you plays a completely different role, and each one complements the other two in a very nice way. I'm really impressed with the partnership that you've been able to generate with the two other gentlemen there. Now, how do you get the capital to see your vision? How do you get there? Because you're an early first mover, you have heavy equity at the start, then what?
I think, as I said earlier, a big part of it comes down to what you've done in the past and showing a track record of being able to do what you say you're going to do. There's a lot of people that can say, they have these grand dreams and ambitions, and some make it and some don't. And the smart equity, the smart debt providers, they look back over a developer's track record. They talk to the folks you've done business with before. And we pride ourselves on being a development organization that does what we say we're going to do. So when we take a look at, for example, a multifamily building that's 25 stories and going to achieve these type of rents, when we go and talk to our partners and our lenders, the numbers that and the development plans that we proffer to them are plans that we know we can deliver. and we don't go out and self-promote to the extent where we're going to puff something up that we can't achieve. We're realistic, and at the end of the day, when we deliver what we say we're going to do, that builds confidence in future investors and lenders going along with us and trusting us.
Now, one of the things that you used to activate the Magic City component in the early days was the concept of the base camp, and then COVID hit. How are you going to take base camp to the next step? Because it seems to me like that would be a very interesting place for outdoor activities, which is right down the middle of the plate for where we are today.
Well, the good news is Space Camp has been rebranded. So you're right. We launched Base Camp in Art Basel of 2019. Had 2 great months. Had a wonderful operation going, and then obviously COVID hit and that shut everything down. We reopened with some partners and rebranded it called Space Park. It's been open for approximately 9 months, and we have great partners there that are running, a day-to-day and a weekend operation. Obviously, like any outdoor venue, we're subject to the whims of Mother Nature, and we purposely scale back our operations during the summer just because it's not as enjoyable to be outside. But we have I think a wonderful assortment of plans and activities and events scheduled for the fall and through the high season. And for folks that have not been to Space Park and seen the Magic City Innovation District Park here, it's spectacular. We have a several acre essential park with 100-year-old oaks. It's just a magical place here in the heart of the urban core.
Now, what are you going to do as you redevelop? Are you going to retain the oak trees? Are you going to move them? Is that going to maintain as open space? What's the plan for that?
Yeah, that's a great question. An integral part of our design and our commitment to the city is keeping a substantial number of those large oaks. We're through a combination of designing our buildings and our promenade around those oaks so we don't have to move them, and moving certain select oaks. And we are very thoughtful and careful about how we're doing the planning of the movement of those trees, because they really are an amazing resource that we have here that we want to protect and we want to be able to share with everyone. The short answer is those trees are sacred to us, and we're doing everything we can to save all of them.
Well, my next question is, are you going to be able to create some jobs there that the people that can walk to the Innovation District can work at? We talked a little bit about the grants you're giving to the neighborhood. I really want to thank you for the educational component, which I think is the most important part. Affordable housing, of course, is also very important. But if they can't be educated, if people can't be educated to have a job, then I don't know how they can even get affordable housing at this point. So are you going to have some set-asides or some other types of workforce inclusionary asks for folks to come and do the construction and then the rest of the tenants that you're going to have in there?
Well, yeah, there's a couple different levels to your question. The first is obviously with any large scale development construction project, there's a lot of construction jobs that are created. We do have preferential hiring policies for people that live in the neighborhood in Little Haiti and then in certain areas surrounding that. So that's an integral part of our plan. In terms of the eventual tenants, we certainly hope so. Part of our mandate within Innovation District is to have an educational facility here. That is, we already have a relationship with a local university that we hope will eventually have a campus of some sort here. So while we're, at the end of the day, we're on the real estate side, we're not actually all of the tenants that are going to be occupying the buildings and providing those jobs. That is certainly in the spirit of it, but we certainly take our commitment seriously as part of the development component.
Thank you so much for being committed to our community. What would you say is the number one takeaway that you got from working with the city to get the Innovation District approved?
it gave me, it always gives me an appreciation of how, the political leadership of any city has to balance the competing needs that they have between their constituents and development and business owners and all of that. And while it's not always an easy process, I think the process that Magic City went through should be a model for, I think, how a lot of large-scale development can be handled. We had numerous very open and transparent community meetings. Not everybody obviously gets everything they want, so the process is inherently full of compromise, and that can be frustrating. But that's the way these things get done, and as long as everyone comes to the table in the spirit of trying to get something done that's good for all of the folks at the table, that's a good thing. And that's what happened with the Magic City process. And so we're proud of that and think that's a good model for other large developments that the city looks at.
Hey, before we wrap it up, Anthony, is there anything else you'd like to say about what you've been able to accomplish? Because I got to tell you, I've been watching this whole thing, and I've known you and Neil and George for a long time. Thank you guys for coming to our town and doing this stuff. Neil came from Canada, you guys came from up north, and I, really want to thank you for coming and adding your intellects to our community here.
Well, I really appreciate that, Jim. Thank you. No, I mean, it's this is a long-term, large-scale project that will, 15, just like Midtown, or the design district. These things take time. But I hope to look back 20 years from now, and there's going to be a new, amazing neighborhood here in Little Haiti, a component of Little Haiti called the Magic City Innovation District, and there's going to be thousands of people living here and thousands of jobs. And my goal is to see that through, and I take a lot of satisfaction in that.
Well, I kind of think that you will, and seeing the track record you guys had up in North Miami Beach, and bad on me for forgetting about that since I'm personally an NMB Charger. Thank you for kicking off the development in my community. Boy, is it hot up there now. I want to thank you so much for your future vision. I want to thank Neil for being there to back you. And I want to thank, I'm going to have to say it this way, George, for helping you make it happen. And for Wild Bill, I just give him a go Gators.
That's right.
Tell Wild Bill I said hello. Wild Bill is their CFO. He's a friend of mine for 40 years from UF.
All right. Thanks, Jim. It's always a pleasure to spend some time with you.
Thank you for taking the time to talk to me about the Magic City Innovation District and what's going on in the Little River and Little Haiti area. Thank you so much, Anthony Burns. I'm going to have to say it this way, placemaker. Everybody, this is where I remind you that Read on Business is South Florida's longest running business talk show. We try to bring great topics to the community, and I think you heard us talk about a couple today. I want to thank our friends at Warren Henry for being our sponsors since 2013. That's a long time. Thank you to Warren. Thank you to Larry. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Samantha. And Abe Cohn, we're going to have him on too. Why Warren Henry? Well, when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, Jaguar, they're all up at 163rd. At Biscayne and 151st. I said 100. It's just a little bit south of where Anthony built his deal up there on Biscayne. Gainesville, that's where they sell Audis. Key West, well, they got all the name brands down there. What do all those places have in common? Well, they all great cars, and they all come with Warren Henry Advantage. That means you get all their great things that they give you as a Warren Henry family member. And then you also get the 72-hour exchange. You can take 3 days to make sure you like your car. Guess what? You will. Join me, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian, lots and lots of my friends. You're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always. Warren Henry.
This is Becca Carlson from Carlson Integrated. You know, a lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
Yeah, Rebecca's tremendous. She helps a lot of my clients look good, make presentations. And me, it's tough to make me look good, but somehow she does that. So she's tremendous. I wanted to thank Regan Mendoza too, for all that he does for me. I'm going to get it right someday, Mr. Mendoza, I promise. Give me a call, direct message me, email me, because I can help. I've even got mortgage brokers sending me their deals now because I'm a lender now. I can help you get ground up construction deals at par for a hotel, apartment, and resort. Oh, give me a call. I can help you do all kinds of really neat, cool things. And one thing's for sure, when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
Well, here we are. It's the day of Yom Kippur coming up tonight. Tonight will be Yom Kippur. And I just think it's an important time to reflect on the past and look forward to the future. Everybody has challenges. Everybody has been challenged by the last 18 months. Some people know friends that have passed. Some people have had family members that have passed. We really don't even know what's going on out there in great detail. But we're not going to talk about that in a political sense. We're going to talk about that in a community sense, because I think that everybody involved knows that we all need to pull together and care about each other. This pandemic has shown us that that's an extraordinarily important thing to do. You can walk past somebody, you might have not even given them a second thought before. Maybe now you'll take a look and realize that they're not exactly having a good day. Maybe you'll stop and help them feel a little better. Maybe they're walking their dog and you'll just lean down and let their dog sniff you and make friends with the dog, which obviously makes friends with the person. It's really important that we come together and we have those kinds of interactions. Not everybody is going to be going back out there just yet. I've been invited to a number of places as a speaker. I'm just not going yet because I've got to protect Vivian. She's one of the 1%. And if I bring home an asymptomatic case of this, it's going to take her to her grave. So I have to be careful. Looking forward, I'm excited because I'm hoping that next year I will be able to go to events like the University of Florida Center for Real Estate Studies Strategies and Trends Conference in, I hope it's early March. I don't know. I'm hoping everything will be okay by then. I want to get my extra shot, but I don't want to steal it from somebody who needs it more than I do right now. So I'm waiting until it's right. Then I'll go because I want to protect not only myself, but others. But what's coming up? What's coming up? I think that it's important for every person to realize that it's okay to not know what's coming up, that it's okay to be uncertain, that it's okay to have a little anxiety. And if you do, let me tell you what you should do. You should reach out to your friends. Because guess what? They feel the same way. Maybe they just don't want to tell you. If you ask them, they say, thanks for asking, and then they'd open up. How do I know? Because I get the phone calls from people that are terrified, that don't know what to do. Young and old. Each person gets a different discussion. For the person that's the senior developer, somebody 60, 65 plus that wants to do another deal, I tell them, find a small residential deal, because that you can capitalize and get done in the next couple of years. For folks that are younger, like Anthony Burns and his friend George, I tell them, go for it. Find yourself the multi-cycle, multi-generational deal like Magic City is. But the main thing is to match up what you've got with what you're looking at, and to maintain the fact that everything is going to be okay. Because the one thing that we learned over the last 18 months is that we can depend on each other. Take that to the bank. Well, I'm Jim Freed, and this is Freed on Business. Look for us every week right here on the web, Wednesdays at noon, when we put out good energy, positive thoughts, and bring on real estate people so people can get ideas for real estate. I bring on people that I think will help people in their lives, like Matt, because a lot of my friends really don't know about that Medicare stuff. They don't know what to do. I see the things on TV. I don't know Medicare Advantage, Medicare Plus, Medicare this, Medicare that. How would I know? I've got to find an expert. Remember, one of the things that I talk about is that I don't know everything, so I go out there and I surround myself with the experts, and then I listen to their advice. That's really the way to get ahead. That's really what Freed on Business is. So join me next week, Wednesday, noon. I've got another tremendous guest. It'll be great information that we can share to make your life better that day, right then. I promise. And I'm good for my promise. So remember, the person who wants to do something finds a way. The other finds an excuse. Now go out there and make it happen. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Guess what? On Yom Kippur, I can promise you that you will be sealed in the book of life. Regan, Mr. Mendoza, take it away.